Now that you have an idea of how to edit, I wanted to let everybody know that we will be talking about how to edit in Adobe Premiere. If you are already an editor who uses a different software, you are welcome to use that, but you still have to follow along the rules. For those who want to use the Adobe Premiere and don't want to load it to their computers, I did want to let you know that the open lab hours where you can go into 228 Varner and edit there are posted here on Moodle. You see the availability of when you can go in. You'll need to use that swipe card to get in. That's Monday from 7 to 1 and then 3 to the end of the building close. Tuesday from noon to 1 and 3 on. Wednesday from 7 to 1 and then from 3 until the end of the day. Thursday from noon to 1 and then 3 to the end of the night, and all day Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So these are the times that you can come in and edit in 228 Varner. Now I want to talk really quickly while I have you here about the assignments that you are required to do for this week. You'll see there's assignment 6A and 6B. Let's look first at 6A. In assignment 6A, what you're being asked to do is to edit different versions with the video that you shot last week. So you will grab all that B-roll that you shot when you came and signed out the equipment, and with that you're going to edit 4 different stories. The first one, I'm asking you to edit 30 seconds of B-roll. So you open a new timeline, you edit 30 seconds of B-roll. The B-roll has to be edited in a way that somebody could guess what the story is about without any words. Remember that when you're picking the portions to edit into your 30 seconds of video, you only want to use the steady parts of each shot. You don't want to use any of the jiggly parts. Each shot that you put down that makes up those 30 seconds should last about 3 to 4 seconds each. Okay? Unless it's follow action. If it's follow action, that can last as long as it takes the person to move through the action shot. Remember that when you're editing using a pan or a zoom, your shot needs to be just the steady part of it. Also, it's very important to remember the pan and the zoom need to begin at a steady shot and end with a steady shot. You can't take an edit in the middle of a pan or a zoom. For this assignment, I'm asking you to put in 2 dissolves, and I'm also asking you to include a 2-line locator title. That means the top line will be the general place where you shot, like let's say Rochester, and then the bottom line will be the location, such as Oakland University. The title should stay up on the screen for about 3 or 4 seconds. So that is the first that you'll be editing. Once you've edited that 30-second story, you save it and export it. The second story I'd like you to edit is starting with B-roll, add a soundbite to that, and another B-roll. So you would open a new timeline. For this one, I'm asking you to put down 15 seconds of B-roll, then attach a soundbite to it, then attach another 10 seconds of B-roll to that. So altogether, you're talking about a 40-second piece. The B-roll should be edited in the same way as we talked about above. Remember, when picking portions to edit of the video, you want to use those steady shots, no jigglies. Each piece of video you use should be 3 to 4 seconds long. Remember, when you're editing the pan and the zoom, use steady parts and don't start the pan or the zoom in the middle. For this assignment, you also have to include a 2-line locator title over the B-roll. And for this assignment, you'll include a 2-line identifier title over the soundbite. So the top line of this title should be the person's name, and the bottom line will be their title. Keep it short for the title, just 3 words max. For this assignment, use your dissolves between the B-roll and the soundbite, both at the beginning of the soundbite and at the end of the soundbite. You will save this and export this as a separate piece. The third piece I'm asking you to edit will be one soundbite that you cover mostly with video. So you would open another timeline. For this, I'm asking you to find a soundbite that lasts somewhere around 25 or 30 seconds. You will edit that onto the timeline. Then go back and edit B-roll over that soundbite. When you're editing the B-roll over the soundbite, make sure to leave the audio from the soundbite up full, and that audio from the B-roll, you just want that very, very low in the background. You don't want that to over the sound from the person speaking. You can cover as much of the soundbite as you want with a B-roll, so long as you leave the person's face up for at least 4 seconds somewhere. In the section where the person's face is up, I would like you to put an identification title there with his or her name on the top line and their title on the bottom line. Then you save that and export it. Then the last type of story I'd like you to do is a narration piece. I'd like this to be about 50 seconds long. To do this, what I'd like you to do is start on a piece of paper and write 3 sentences about the story that you shot with your B-roll last week. Then transcribe what you said in the stand-up that you shot last week, and then open up a timeline on Adobe or whatever you're editing with. Record your voice reading the 3 sentences that you just wrote up here. If you don't remember how to record your voice, then go back to the video and review the directions from the video lecture of how to record your voice. Then, after you've recorded your voice for these 3 sentences, then go back and edit the stand-up next to the 3 sentences. Then after you have the voice down and the stand-up next to it, then go back and fill in B-roll on top of your narration. Not on top of the stand-up, just all of the parts of your narration where you just voiced. You will put in B-roll clips that match the words that you were saying in the 3 sentences. When you're done with this edit, there should be no black spaces left. For this particular piece, you do not need any transitions or dissolves. When you're done with this piece, go ahead and save it and export it. Okay? So you're going to be editing these 4 pieces as separate stories. I would like you to name them like this. So if I was doing it, I would put Shafran 30-second B-roll for when I'm titling my first one, Shafran B-roll sound for my second, Shafran soundbite for my third piece, and Shafran narration for the 4th piece. Okay? You're going to have 4 pieces that you're going to post to Moodle when you are done with assignment 6A. Okay? So take a look now at assignment 6B. Assignment 6B asks you to come pitch a story idea. Okay, so this story idea that you're going to pitch, it needs to be approved by this Sunday at midnight. You can do it before then. I want it approved by then, but keep in mind that Friday of this week starts the winter break, so you might want to get that done before. Keep in mind the story that you're pitching is not going to be shot until after we get back from winter break. So when you're thinking about what you want to shoot, make sure that you can shoot this sometime between February 27th and March 4th. That will be the period the week after winter break. So there's a particular category that I want you to be thinking about. The category for this assignment will be called a unique feature. So with this assignment, you're being asked to tell the story of a person, a place, or an activity or an event that can be told with video. The information is going to come from the narration of the people that you're interviewing. And I will be explaining when you come back how you will edit these pieces. For now, though, just keep in mind that when you're trying to come up with an idea, that you want a story that is going to be rich with video opportunities, that there's going to be so much video pieces that you can shoot with this, you're going to have too much video to go with it. Because you're going to be telling the story almost completely with video. You're going to be telling a story that runs 1 minute or 1 minute and 30 seconds all with video. So you need a lot of it. So to come up with an idea of a story that is a unique feature new story, you need to start out by thinking like this. Somebody you've met, something you've seen, or maybe an event or activity that you've heard about where you thought, huh, that is so interesting. I didn't know that. Or, that's something I never knew before. Or, I'd really like to see how that works. These are the kind of stories that typically fit into a segment that would be called a unique feature. So you're still stuck, you don't know where to start with. Here's some categories that might help you start thinking about a story you could cover. Maybe there's a unique restaurant. It can't be just a restaurant. It has to be something unusual that maybe hasn't been seen before. Or a unique business. Or a unique performance or performers. Or a unique medical discovery. A unique creation. A unique environmental issue. Maybe there's a unique educational program at a school that you know of, or a unique sporting event or sports figure or physical activity, something unique there. Or maybe a unique building or something that was built unusually, or maybe some unique proposed legislation, or a unique trend, or unique technology, or unique group or activity, or a unique transportation or a vehicle story. So these are not an all-inclusive list. There's probably tons of other categories of uniqueness that you can come up with, but maybe something in that list will trigger something to help you get started. It does not have to be campus related. It does not have to be OU related. It does have to be about something in Southeast Michigan. So as you prepare your idea, make sure that this is something that you can shoot the week after the break, and make sure there is at least one person associated with this unique story who will be available for you to interview that week. You only need to interview one person for this. You can interview two. Okay? For this story, you're going to have an option of shooting various types of equipment. You can use the type of equipment we just used last week, or you will be able to use some of your own equipment only if I approve it ahead of time. So while you will not necessarily have to come to campus to sign out equipment, you will need to have an interaction with me to discuss whether your equipment meets the requirements for this course. Okay? So please don't use any equipment before discussing it with me. For this particular assignment to be complete, you're going to need to have contacted somebody ahead of time with your story idea. That means you're going to have to start thinking this week and make phone calls or emails to somebody this week and make sure that they're available to have you stop by sometime after break. Then, once you assured yourself you have what you need, you're going to write a pitch on a Word document that will follow the responses to these prompts. First, you will describe your story idea in one sentence. Then you'll explain what makes it new or unusual. You'll tell me what video you're thinking about using with the story. So you want to tell me a lot of different types of video that you can shoot. You'll tell me the name and the title of the person who's agreed to be interviewed. Tell me the day and the time you think you've agreed to. If you don't have it particularly set up yet, that's okay, just as long as they've agreed to be interviewed during that week. And tell me the location of where you will be shooting. Now, sometimes I know there's people eager to get moving on this. You have a whole week of break. If somebody is feeling compelled to want to shoot your story over the break, here's what I'll tell you. Get in touch with me. Make sure that I've approved your story idea, and then we will discuss which kind of equipment you want to use to shoot. Once I've approved the idea and approved the type of equipment you want to use for shooting, then I will say, okay, go ahead and shoot it during break week if you want. You really don't have to. I've set this up so you will do the assignment the week you get back from break. No matter whether you've shot it over break or not, no one can start the editing process until we return from winter break. There's going to be a lecture of how I'm looking for you to edit the material. Okay? So for the pitch itself, please make sure you write the answers to these questions on a Word file. Save the file with your last name. Assignment 6B. So if I was submitting it, I would say Shafran Asai 6B. Okay? And you post that to Moodle. Okay, that's what the assignments look like for this week. Again, you'll see that you have 2 videos, 2 assignments. Here's the print version of that big #1 video that we talked about. Here's a list of open lab hours, and remember, you have winter break at the end of this week. It'll be February 18th through February 26th. So have a good week and a good break.